He said, please, not my goat. I'm sorry, Peg. I have to. I have to. They say, yeah, I'm a dip for a little bit. Nah, don't do that. All right, y'all. So now it is that your girl's recording. Let's have this conversation. Let's get into this react. Now, Maddie Balls, shout outs to you. The sad downfall of Lil Wayne's legacy. This one's gonna hurt me a little bit because I am a person that grew up on Lil Wayne. I mean, Lil Wayne music has been out since I was a child. And I completely am forgetting it is that Lil Wayne is 40, is in his 40s at least, mid 40s, I believe, maybe 44. So he's been doing music for a long time. And those mixtapes, the Carter mixtapes, listen, I was in high school, you know what I mean, trying to illegally get the music off a LimeWire, just hoping I got the right one. But as a recent timing of within this year or last year, he was complaining about the fact that, he didn't get picked for a Super Bowl performance, but like Kendrick Lamar did. And then we got this album of the Carter 6. And I've never been so disappointed. I am so hurt. I am so hurt by this damn album because it's like, gang, and then some people are like, oh, if this came out in 2010 it would have been a hit. No, it wouldn't. No. So unfortunately we have to have this conversation on why people are saying the downfall of Lil Wayne is here. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's start this up.
Lil Wayne is undeniably one of the greatest rappers of all time, one who has influenced an entire generation. But these past couple of years, Wayne has done a few things that have caused a lot of hip-hop fans to begin to turn on him, with many accusing him of being washed, especially after the release of his latest album, The Carter 6. So today, I want to look into why everybody is switching up on our boy Lil Wayne. Also, really quick, I want to say Spotify lets you put your videos on their platform now. Like, you can watch the video or just listen to the audio. So if that's something you guys are interested in, if you just want to like listen rather than watch or whatever, the links are all in the...
Hold on now. Chat, wait. Yeah? You can do this on Spotify? Because I will smooth put my reacts up. I will put my reacts up on Spotify in a heartbeat. What are we talking about?
Description. I think it's a cool feature. So I'm uploading all my old videos on there along with my new ones. So yeah, feel free to do that. Anyways, let's continue. So recently Lil Wayne released his album The Carter 6, and let's just say it wasn't very well received. If you aren't familiar with...
It was garbage. It was doo-doo, caca. It was that, okay? Our monthly listeners gonna be 1 mil, God willing, sigh. It was AI. Nah, what was AI was the cover art for this. I don't know why that he's doing another variation of a kid, Lil Wayne, with tattoos. You already did that for the Carter album before. You've already done this. So off rip by the cover art, I would have already said no to this. If I was in part of like, the label itself, it's just like, all right, we already did this. But literally listening to this, it hurts my soul. It hurts, chat.
Lil Wayne, he has an album series called The Carter, and pretty much every album in this series is banged. Whether or not you think they were good, they have historically sold in...
Yeah. Damn. And imagine seeing Lil Wayne like this and being like, yo, you would never believe an older version of Lil Wayne, what he gonna look like. It's just like, come on, bro. I forgot he did 3. So he did, this was the Carter 3. I think that's 4. The 5. Yeah, like he's been doing like little younger versions of himself with tattoos. But I miss this Wayne. I dare to say it is that he was cute back then. But now with them struggle ass dreads, it is that he got, hell no. Oh, that hurts.
Insanely well. The Carter 1 in 2004 sold 878,000 units. The Carter 2 in 2005 sold 1.4 million units. The Carter 3 in 2008 sold...
Come on now, this was the best one! This was the best one! Not even me just getting off of this off of LimeWire, but I got this off of Apple Music too. Back then you used to have to pay $1.28 for a song, per song. May I add, I was buying, or at least asking my dad, buying songs back then before they started doing subscriptions and stuff like that of that nature now. But back then, if you wanted a song that is that you liked off of Apple Music, you had to pay per. I was giving that nigga my money.
A
Right,
whopping
it just
2.8
hurts me so
million
bad.
units, and the Carter 4 in 2011 sold 2.3 million. I'm not going to mention the Carter 5 because it didn't sell nearly as many, in part because it was more recent. Regardless though, it still had some bangers. So clearly this series has a very impressive legacy, with Wayne putting out amazing tracks on every single album, and fans were extremely excited for the 6th iteration of this series. And I think it's safe to say that this was a big letdown. Now I'm not going to lie, I don't think the whole album was all that bad, but it definitely wasn't great, and a lot of people absolutely hated it. Fans immediately tore it apart on Twitter, with people posting memes like this. And it wasn't just Twitter that had this opinion, but other music critics as well.
And look, I'm not going to beat around the bush with this review. This album
I'll see you later, Hermit.
was pretty bad. Not just bad, but shamefully bad at points. Bad form, bad ideas, bad taste, bad execution.
Bad
the album
beats,
doesn't
yeah.
even have the decency to be bad in one single way.
In this series, this installment is weak. You're getting lackluster performances. You're getting weak production. I don't even want to call it weak. I want to call it bad production. You're getting an underwhelming feature list where you could have gotten some legends on here, or even some guys that would have been able to put some energy or something back into this track list, for example. Like,
By the way, if you know, you know, Fantano said the Elephant song was his favorite one, which is insane, but don't worry guys.
Hell no. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Don't piss me off. That elephant one, stop. Don't piss me off. Please. Braid said he was washed. Dante was not messing with it like, damn, Wayne. I mean, let's troll it like shit. Gotta be. I mean, for one thing, it is Dante is is probably one of the known best music critics it is that are out there. That's what it is that like Dante has been known for. And let's just, and I have to agree with him. I have to agree with Rage. Is that as somebody as legendary as Wayne, and plus you was sitting there making a whole ordeal about not being chosen to do the Super Bowl performance, and then you underdevelop like this, and you was the same person telling Kendrick to be like, oh yeah, like I'm about to go into the booth and whatnot, and you decided to go ahead and not drop the song, but you decided to talk to Kendrick instead last year. I haven't forgot about that. I have not forgotten about that, sir. Come on now. You can't sit there and do that. If you're going to go ahead and talk that talk, you need to have the action behind it. Because if you don't, then it's just like, what you complaining for? What you complaining for at this point? There's no point. Someone stole Wayne's voice. He didn't put that out.
In a second. Regardless though, Twitter was in a huge uproar after this album came out. One person said, you know the album ass when nobody arguing on the timeline, LMAO. This shit hurt, man. Another said, I haven't seen the TL be this unified calling an album trash in a good while. There were so many memes all over Twitter, and I'm gonna...
Back in my day, Lil Wayne and Kanye used to put out good music. Oh. And you want to know what's crazy? Kanye put out an album this year and nobody didn't even bat an eye. No, nobody cared. There was so much stuff going on. It was just like, all right, no, nigga, all right, yeah, you drop an album. All right, but anywho, and go back into arguing. You know how it is that Twitter gets. And the fact that Twitter unified like this with Lil Wayne and Kendrick, or not Kendrick, Kanye, shit. I feel like Ye could have come back from the bullshit and music though. No, I don't think from the antics. I don't think from the antics. Let's say, for example, if it was just the music itself. I'm not gonna talk about the how you know, I'm not gonna finish that. But that stuff, you know, that music video that got taken down immediately. Let's say if it was just a terrible album. Let's say Vultures 2. He just put out Vultures 2. He didn't do the whole campaign, him crying and all the other stuff, and then talking about Nike, Walt Disney. You know, you ain't got the answers. Way. If he didn't have those antics and it was just a bad album, then he would be able to bounce back from it. But at this point in time, Kanye is so far removed from actually being in good graces of the public. Oh yeah, and then also the anti-Semitic comments as well, that you can't really bounce back from that neither. But if it was just a bad album, then sure. But at this point, no. Can Lil Wayne bounce back from this is a good question though. I don't know about him, buddying up with Trump, but then you had Kodak Black doing the same thing. I believe T.I. did this at one point where, he was kind of being in support of with Trump. The problem with Lil Wayne here versus Kanye is that Lil Wayne still raps in the same niche that he's always done. And you can't do that when it comes down to being in this platform with music. Music is very subjective. However, you have to change up flows. You have to change up how it is that you do your body of work. Because if not, then you're not going to gravitate towards younger audience, which does play a very intricate part, because the younger generation is kind of what pushes everything up. And now you got streamers like myself and many other like known streamers that, like, when it comes down to music, there's like, damn, I gotta get my music played so these streamers can listen to it, and it puts it out on YouTube. We're seeing a heavy flux of them collabing with streamers, and now you see them streaming now. Go figure.
I'm gonna be honest, they were pretty funny, and this was definitely my favorite one of the bunch. I think that it got so bad that the Carter 4 re-entered the Billboard 200, with fans saying every real Wayne fan ran to their favorite Carter after having their heart broken by Carter 6.
I ain't gonna lie. I went back to the Carter 3. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie with you, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I had to listen to the Carter 3 after that just to be like, is this the same nigga? Is this the same one that I used to listen to? Like, hold on. Hey, Megan, if you want to tap in, we here.
It's honestly hard to describe in words how bad some of these songs were.
We just throwing shit at the wall at this point. When we get to the end, it's just like, I don't even know what the fuck about to happen.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Peanuts to an elephant. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. His reaction is justified. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
All my niggas cutthroat, cut a nigga.
This Crash Bandicoot ass fucking beat, bro. Damn. Y'all, matter of fact, Lil Wayne could have scrapped the whole fucking 16 and just gave the beat. Just whoever created it, you could have gave that to the developers of Crash Bandicoot for a new game, or Donkey Kong, Great Escape, or some shit like that. Hell, it could have been to anything. I would even been cool with Mario Kart. Why the fuck did you allow this man to do that?
This is not
like, why, bro?
What up, though? All my niggas cutthroat, cut a nigga.
oh my god, bro. This is not real.
Not gonna lie.
I'm being so serious, bro. This is
Because
not
Hannah,
real.
you
What the
know.
fuck is this beat, dog? What is this beat, dog? I'm not gonna lie. We're trolling. You're dead trolling, bro. You're
Hold on, chat. Hold on. Bear with me as mucus is still projecting out of my goddamn body. Jesus.
not serious at all. You don't give a fuck. You see? Do you hear this?
Head off, you looking like you bumbo. Smoking like double dutch, all you niggas jump rope.
You're dead. You're serious right now, dog.
Granted, this was probably the worst song on this album, but man, there were definitely some rough ones.
worst?
He even had a line where he said, "And I don't smoke bunk, I only smoke that strong. Eyes tight like my name Wong Ding Ding Dong." To be entirely fair to Wayne, though, this project
I'm not gonna lie. This one, yeah, this one's bad. Yeah. Yeah. This one's bad. That one's bad.
Some rough ones. He even had a line where he said, "And I don't smoke bunk, I only smoke that strong. Eyes tight like my name Wong Ding Ding Dong." To be entirely fair to Wayne, though, this project is expected to sell 110 units first week with a #2 debut on the Billboard 200. However, compared to a lot of his previous projects, this isn't that great. But why is this such a big deal? Especially for an artist who's been in the game for decades, he's already established himself as a legend. Who cares if he puts out one bad album? Huge artists drop disappointing music all the time and they're able to bounce back. I mean, Wayne himself has even done it before with Rebirth. Well, to understand why people are so upset and disappointed in Lil Wayne, we have to rewind back to the Super Bowl. The September before the 2025 Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar was announced as the headliner for the halftime show, and Lil Wayne was pretty upset. First, he posted on his Instagram story, confused, disappointed, angry, but most of all, inspired. We'll never again be in a position or have the GOAT in a position where we are at the mercy of someone else's decision. We will make the decisions. And then he posted this video as well, expressing his problems.
That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position.
You want to know what a letdown was? The Carter 6. You want to know what that letdown was? You made all of this. You complained about all of this, right? All of this. And then you put this out. So now it's just like, what was your reasoning behind you complaining and you acting like it is like, like jealousy. Damn, jealousy and envy does really be the root of certain things, man. Because if it was the other way around, if Lil Wayne was chosen to perform the Super Bowl for this year, do y'all think it is that Kendrick would be going ahead and doing all this extra shit? No. Or let alone if the Super Bowl was in fucking LA or some shit like that, or like in Oakland. He wouldn't have done that. So to me, I just don't like that, because now it's like you showed a little bit more of your character than you do with his within, like, in these type of situations. I see this all the time. I've experienced it, actually. When one person is doing so damn good and then they get chosen for something that is a positive, you always need to be mindful of the people who are not clapping or not congratulating you. And especially if it is they are supposedly your goddamn friends, because those motherfuckers are the ones that are not your friends. Everybody, it's all good when it is you doing good, but it's a terrible thing when it is you doing better than them. That, to me, this is what Lil Wayne looked like. He looked like it is like, hey, I love Kendrick. He's out here doing his thing, this and this, but this nigga out here doing better than me. He performing in my city. How come? How? What the fuck is that? How come it is that, like, he coming to New Orleans? That's my home. That's my turf. That's me. I should be the one doing that. How you gonna sit there and do that? That's what you sound like. You sound like the side bitch that didn't get chose for Valentine's Day. Just like, listen, like I told you this. Like, no, I can't do that this year. I got you the next day, though. I promise. That's what you sound like. Okay? And that pains me. That pains me. Right, at least give Kendrick his flowers, man. And especially, you should be the main person going ahead and congratulating Kendrick, because you warned Drake about being on that fake ass gangster shit. You was the first person to tell him to don't do that. Verbatim. You was telling this nigga, hey, listen, just be the R&B singing light-skinned nigga that everybody love. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here trying to act like you bigger than this. You ain't grow up in them type of streets. You ain't grow up like that. I'm sorry, but like, you and your mother Sandra did not live in that type of environment. Okay? This is like Wayne was telling this nigga Drake that. If anything, you should have been sitting there saying, yo, Drake, I done told you to don't do this shit. And now you sitting there complaining. Two niggas on the same Cash Money team complaining about Kendrick. Is weird to me.
It made me feel like not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like you guys reminded me that I ain't without y'all. And that's an amazing reality.
The main
Yeah,
reason that
from
Wayne
start to
felt this way
finish.
is because the Super Bowl was hosted in his hometown of New Orleans. Also, Jay-Z's been in charge of the Super Bowl for the last few years, so Wayne really thought that he had an in, and has expressed interest in doing it before on multiple occasions.
Let's think about this for a second. Lil Wayne, headline Super Bowl in New Orleans. How badly do you want to hear those words?
Just as bad as I wanted to see my name at the top of that list when I was that whatever age it was, and I would bust into the office and get that Billboard magazine. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
He has also said that he would kill to play the Super Bowl and things along those lines in multiple interviews. So when he was denied, Wayne and a bunch of others were pretty upset on his behalf. Nicki Minaj and others called out the Super Bowl and Jay-Z for not letting Wayne perform, saying things like denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no reason other than your ego. Your hate
Talking about somebody it is that just sound hateful from outside the club. I'm sorry, but and Nicki also said some other words by calling Jay-Z a house N-word, but nonetheless, she was also she also put in a verse from band from New Orleans as well, and I didn't really like the verse as much as it is that like Nicki's pen is very strong. I will give her her penmanship, and I will always say that it's a nasty penmanship. That's one thing she will write. She'll write a verse. She will write a 16 and be better than anybody else in the motherfucking song. But this one wasn't it for her. I just didn't like it. I did not like it. It was more just like the envy and the hate that consumes people's spirit overpowers a little bit too much. And this is another person that's in their damn 40s that should know better. You know what I mean? And people are even calling Nicki a legend as well. But you're messing up your legacy by doing fugaziness, or you're allowing your fan base to go ahead and do it. And you cannot do that. Okay? You cannot do that. Because all that penmanship is just like, all right, you know what I mean? And what makes this worse is that she was beefing with another person that is that the penmanship has been out for, I mean, the blueprint of everything. Little Kim. You still beefing with this person. If anything, I would not try intentionally to beef with the greats that came before me. One thing I will say that Nicki did do is revitalize female rap. She was, she came out at a perfect time, a perfect era, you know, in the late 2000s going into the 2010s. Like she really like did a whole powerhouse of what that looks like for female rap. It disappoints me a little bit with her on how it is that she acts and what she does, because it's like, damn, you did all this and now you're just sounding like that hateful black woman. And for me to be a black woman to say this, that angers me a lot, you know. It doesn't, the art, like the writing is there, but it's not coming from a place to where it is. It's like, nah, like, you know, like I'm gonna let that be known of this, and this. No, you're saying it from a hateful type of thing because you're hurt that you don't get chosen for certain things, and Lil Wayne didn't get chosen for certain things. That's what it's looking like. Just hate that she's handling herself and her image this way. I hate it too. Writing out of hate and anger and envy will not work in the art. Yep.
hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. But not everybody thought that Wayne deserved the spot. I mean, it was given to Kendrick Lamar after all, who just had the craziest year, arguably, of his career.
Correct.
With winning the beef with Drake and putting out tracks like Not Like Us. Fans began debating online whether or not Lil Wayne even deserved the spot, with multiple people saying he wasn't a great performer. One fan on Reddit said, anyone who has seen Wayne live knows he puts on mediocre, low-effort shows, and that's if he even shows up. Many were reposting some rough moments from his concerts on Twitter as well. There was even one that was pretty funny, I'll admit, and even Tyler, the creator, liked it as well.
This can't be This can't be. This cannot be the same Lil Wayne. I was getting the mixtape, Carter 3 mixtape from LimeWire from. This can't be. I'm sorry. This cannot be the same nigga. This is not the same one. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. This is not the same nigga. Oh my god. This is not the same one. Oh my god. Oh my heart. He said the pause. Ari, please look at his face. Oh man. Damn. I might make a reel out of this. I'm sorry. I may just clip this and I'm just made be like, hey, you know, me when I get my Chick-fil-A for free. Me when I step on a Lego, bro. Fudge. Me when I step on one of Shadow's toys. Fudge. No, there's a different angle. There's a different angle. No. 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 What's up, Drew? Don't stop.
This incident caused
How
so many people to
embarrassing.
clown on Lil Wayne in the rap community, and even Orlando Brown started clowning on him.
I think that Jay-Z made the best decision ever. Well, I know about this shit, but I don't want to do. I don't want to do, but I do.
Which is crazy when you got
I'm gonna
Orlando
call you
Brown
and say, you better not.
acting like you're the tweaker.
You
This
better
started
not.
an entire conversation around Wayne's performance abilities and why he may have not been picked. For example, there was a concert in 2023 where after playing music for 30 minutes, he hopped off stage so some artists from his label could come out and perform, which doesn't seem that bad, right? Well, after the crowd wasn't really feeling it, I mean, they came to see Lil Wayne, Wayne came back out, did a little rant, and then just canceled the show.
We appreciate it, but we ain't about to be bending over backwards for these folks. We work too hard for this shit. We work way too hard. This motherfucking artist Allen, that was Twist, that was Jazz. We on Young Money. We appreciate y'all time.
Fans were very upset, and this was brought back up again during the Super Bowl conversation, cited by some as another reason why Wayne should not have been allowed to perform. And this isn't the only time Wayne has walked off stage, like this time when he was playing at High Times, and he said he never wants to be booked for it again and then left. Also, I forgot what it was, but I'm pretty sure it happened like a couple other times too. So people really use this as a big argument as to why the Super Bowl might not want to entrust this extremely important performance to Lil Wayne. Regardless of what your thoughts on the situation were, Wayne continued to complain about it, which I think really rubbed fans the wrong way.
Yes.
Like when he gave the speech at Wheezy Fest a couple months later.
That moment I said to myself, I want to be on stage for the Super Bowl one day in front of my mom. And I worked my ass off to get that fucking position, and it was ripped away from me. But this motherfucking moment right here.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. Because you're trying to discredit Kendrick Lamar's work and everything it is that he's done. Kendrick even looked up to you. Ooh. The one thing it is that like that kind of I'm experiencing this. When you look up to somebody and then it's just like, oh, you ain't damn, you ain't fuck with me. You ain't fuck with me at all. You know what I mean? Like that's you're going on these stages like and you're crying out wolf to why it is you didn't get chosen, and that doesn't make people like you're fishing for sympathy, and I don't like that. That's a very manipulative way of like, you know, because manipulation itself is trying to gain control. You're trying to gain the control by weaponizing the people that go listen to you, that watch your music and stuff like that. That's not how it is that you go about that, because people will then start to be like, I mean, Wayne, like, yeah, you're the greatest rapper of all time, but like, are you giving the same level of energy as Kendrick? Like, are you healthy enough to go ahead and to perform like that? Because I have to call it for what it is. Any artist that goes on tour, that goes on stage and everything like that, you have to do a level of rehearsals. You have to make sure that your body is fit. You damn near have to even diet and eat a certain type of way in order to withhold or withstand performing for 2-3 hours at a time. You know what I mean? Kendrick literally does that. There's not a day it is that don't go by. It is that he's not putting in miles. You know, he's running and got his entourage running with him. You know what I mean? This man is doing jailbroken workouts at this point. He's physically fit in order to do this. Wayne, you had a little bit of a scare. I ain't even gonna cap to you. You had a little bit of a scare, a health scare before. Now I'm just like, damn, I hope it is like, you know, I hope Lil Wayne make it. We all was scared. We all was worried about this nigga. We all was worried about him. And I'm like, you have to be, it's not even just the fact that just with music, you got to be able to physically be able to handle this. I don't think Wayne is physically there anymore. He used to be. I don't think he's there to withhold that. You're going to be out of breath by the time it is that he get to like Lollipop or some shit. And I don't want to sound crass, but I got to call it for what it is, bro.
They can't take that, man. They can't take that from me.
People responded saying things like, "You never had it, bro, ever. So how the f was it ripped away from you?" On top of that, fans were also upset with Wayne because Kendrick has been a big Wayne fan for years, very openly throughout his entire career.
Wayne ain't no new jack to the game, like I said, you know. He influenced a lot of styles and a lot of sounds, and I can say I was influenced by a certain sound and a flow and the cadence, you know, that he brought to the game, which was very unique. Me being a young boy in the game and listening to him, like, yeah,
exactly.
Okay, I need to learn this and that, you know, and that definitely was a perspective from that tape.
So when Wayne acts this way and keeps complaining and acting like he's entitled to it, a lot of people were upset and felt like he should have been proud of Kendrick, especially since Kendrick is openly inspired by Wayne. Not too long after this, on Kendrick's track Whacked Out Murals, which was released around this time, he said, "Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down." Later on that track, he said something that almost seemed like a diss when he said, "Won the Super Bowl and Nas the only one congratulate me. All these people agitated. I'm just glad they showing their faces. Quite frankly, plenty artists, but they outdated. Old ass flows trying to convince me that you they favorite." So clearly Kendrick was not happy about Lil Wayne's reaction. Wayne actually seemingly responded to this on Twitter by saying, "Man, what the fuck I do?"
I remember this. We reacted to this, chat. And I talked about how it is like you went on this whole, I remember saying the same thing. You went on this whole sympathy tour. The man responds to it. And then you just like, man, what the fuck I do? I ain't even did nothing. That's crazy. I cannot stand when people do this. If you're going to say something, and especially as many times you wholeheartedly talked about with not being chosen for the Super Bowl performance. Excuse me. Oof. Excuse me. As much it is that you talked about with this, of not getting chosen by the Super Bowl performance, and then you double back like this, it's like,
I just be chilling and they still come for my head. Let's not take kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep. I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me. But I shall destroy if disturbed. On me. Somehow this didn't ever end up leading to any public problems between the two, which honestly is a little bit disappointing. I mean, I think a rap battle between those guys would have been sick. But regardless, Wayne said on the Skip Bayless show just a few weeks later that he had no problems with Kendrick.
And you know, when we speaking, obviously he can't control that. And, you know, so he didn't let me know. It ain't like he can control it or nothing. And also I've spoken to him and I wished him all the best and told him he better kill it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you better kill it. You gotta kill it.
Okay. Well, did he say anything to enlighten you about these lyrics about you? I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. I don't know exactly what that means. If he's sort of...
No, he ain't. I don't think he knew he didn't have to do anything. There was no explanation that was needed for that. I think I understand. Again, that was my first time hearing it when you just said it.
Okay.
But I understand those words. Like I said, I think he just mean that he made it there, and his hard work is the reason why he made it there.
It was a little strange that he said he never heard those lyrics. However, in all fairness to Wayne, he seems to forget everything and doesn't really seem to be in the loop at all. But despite that, people were happy that
I have a for all my people that's out there. I have a genuine question, right? Anybody this that got locks, you know, you dreaded up. I need to ask y'all a genuine question. All right, because this is baffling to me. This is literally something it is that like I just don't understand. How in Jesus' name on Beyonce's Green Earth did we get hairstyles like this? And then the locks, it looks like it is that it's struggling. This is not the same nigga. I refuse to believe that this right here is the same nigga. I'm sorry. What? I refuse to. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. And mind you, like I said, chat, this man is only 40 in his 40s. Why does he look like it is that he's smooth, like 30 years older than what it is his anticipated age is? It look raggedy. Them shits is falling off the bone, bro. And not in the good way. Them things is hanging off by a Brillo pad. At this rate, he should just shave it. And you're blonding it up and everything like that. Did the bleach eat it up? Like, I'm confused. Boneless drink. I'm sorry, but like, hey, this is what I'm talking about with the level of health, man. Because there's no way that you go from this to this. I refuse to believe that. I'm sorry.
That they had squashed the beef and that Lil Wayne wasn't dragging it anymore. At least until he did keep dragging the situation. First, he did a Super Bowl ad with Cetaphil, the skincare company, which poked some lighthearted fun at the situation while teasing his upcoming album.
At this rate, you need to be doing a hair care campaign at this point.
Anymore. At least until he did keep dragging the situation. First,
Alexa telling me it's time for bed. You know, maybe it is time. Maybe it is time because
he did a Super Bowl ad with Cetaphil, the skincare company, which poked some lighthearted fun at the situation while teasing his upcoming album.
Hey, we still going?
Nah, this is time sensitive. Let's get it.
Then a few months later, he did an interview with Rolling Stone and said he would never consider playing the Super Bowl again after he said they stole that feeling. And he sounded a little bitter in this interview because he said he didn't watch Kendrick's performance. He said when it came on, he went to play pool and that every time I looked, it was nothing that made me want to go inside and see what was going on. Which to me reads like he was really upset about the situation.
You sound like a hating ass nigga. Wow. Wow. Even after this, you said it is, you had a conversation. You still, man, does that hurt? Wow.
Situation to that day. Like, how are you gonna act like, oh, me and Kendrick are cool? Go crush it, bro, and then say it didn't really look like anything I was interested in. I didn't even watch it. Like, that just seems disrespectful. And this is the attitude that upset a lot of hip-hop fans. Of course, many people still sided with Wayne, but it definitely hurt his image. Wayne continued to say in this Rolling Stone interview that the NFL fucked up and that since he is working on the Carter 6, they could have had some music, but instead they got rapping, which again,
you wanted people to go ahead and to listen to this, bro?
What up, though? All my niggas cutthroat. Cut a nigga head off, you looking like you fumbled.
You
his image. Wayne continued to say in this Rolling Stone interview that the NFL fucked up and that since he is working on the Carter 6, they could have had some music, but instead they got rapping, which
What up, though? All my niggas cutthroat. Cut a nigga head off, you looking like you fumbled.
All right, bro. All right, bro.
Again, comes off to me as like disrespectful
Thank
to
you for
Kendrick,
your
and it's especially
patronage.
ironic now as
Shadow J3DI Knight has just donated $1.
Yeah, I appreciate the donut, Jedi.
the Carter 6 is out, and many people wouldn't quite call that music. He also said a few other things in this interview too, like that the NFL apparently was telling him beforehand to be more public facing before the show as if he would get the spot, and that someone from the NFL apologized to him after Kendrick was selected. So I can totally understand why he would be upset, but the seeming disrespect towards Kendrick is what really are rubbing fans the wrong way, along with him dragging it for so long. It seems as if the Super Bowl situation, on top of all of the discussion from the fans, affected Lil Wayne so much that it ended up bleeding through to his music and almost possibly hurt the quality of it in this latest project.
You're Lil Wayne. You're fucking Lil Wayne, bro.
Yep.
You don't have to be on a track like, yo, I'm the greatest of all time, and I can be myself. I don't need to be anybody. Like, you don't need a song on here talking about I'm gonna be myself, and I'm happy to be myself, and I don't need to be anybody else because I can be me. Like, you're Lil Wayne. You don't need to be up and down this album talking about like I'm the greatest of all time. Nigga, we know. Just
Dante saying it. he's saying it. He's speaking facts. He is. Like, you don't even have to go ahead and to do all of that. You don't have to sit there and do all the extra shit. At this point, niggas should be rapping about wanting to be like you. But now niggas can't even do that no more. Niggas can't even sit there and do that no more. What? Like, you had people looking up to you. How is it that you had it all and then you fumble it? I just don't understand.
Rap. Like, you were doing those first like few songs, and then it was like,
thank you for
your
like, patronage.
This internet must have got to you or some shit.
Shadow J3DI Knight has just donated $1. I will be back in a moment. Cool.
All right.
Everything was just about trying to convince niggas that you're the best instead of showing why you are the best, why people call you the best.
Period.
By just rapping.
Period.
Oh my God, this was more like pleading his fucking case, dude.
Rather than actually doing what everyone knows Wayne can do, which is rap and put out bangers, it seems like after all the barking over the Super Bowl and saying he was going to put out some real music, he never actually came with any bite.
He had this chip on his shoulder after missing out on the halftime performance for the Super Bowl, and this had a whole domino effect where people started criticizing his abilities on social media. People started comparing him to Kendrick and saying that he would get smoked in a battle, and there was a lot of like this sort of negative press around Wayne going into this album, and this felt like an opportunity for him to silence all of those haters.
And that's what I thought he would do.
I thought that that's what he would do, is remind people that he truly is still one of the greatest, but he squandered that opportunity, and this is a flop of an album.
The Super Bowl situation, how entitled Lil Wayne came off, how much he talked up his own album and was low.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Is entitlement. Entitlement does a very nasty thing to people's character, man. And the level of entitlement that Wayne had for himself, it's like, we know it is that you're the greatest rapper of all time, but how it is that you handled this situation, then on top of that too, you going on to this sympathy tour of trying to manipulate the audience to be on your side, then you come out with this garbage album. It's like, at this rate now, this is, I don't want to say this, but I think this may be something it is like, you said Nas is washed too. I mean, after that beef, I could say yes. I could say that. Does that discredit his work? No, not at all. I hate to say this about Lil Wayne, but I feel like it is that people are going to now deter away from him. And even the younger generation, they may not be able to take him serious. Like, we as like the millennials and some part of the older Gen Z, we could be like, nah, Lil Wayne, he was this, and this. It's like, well, have you seen what it is he put out now? I don't think so. He used to be good. Now that nigga washed. That's what it's gonna get to that point, because he's not connecting with the audience within itself. He's not doing that no more. Like, you're trying to, and plus on top of it too, you're hanging out with Trump, the Cheeto dust with it himself. You know, that also discredits you a lot.
Low-key dissing Kendrick just to put out a terrible album. All of these things have really left a poor taste in fans' mouths. But despite all of this, Lil Wayne's legacy still stands strong. I mean, after his insane run, there's nothing that I don't think can really take down his career. Before all the drama like we have today, Lil Wayne has been a fan favorite. After all the success he had in the 2000s with his commercial albums doing well and his insane mixtape run, people
Don't get me
love
wrong,
Lil Wayne.
like we still can't sit there and say like he came out with some bangers, but again, us millennials and some Gen Z, we're getting older. You know what I mean? So we're still going to listen to what it is that we've known growing up and stuff. Lil Wayne is somebody that we grew up on. You know, it's fair to say, or at least it is I can able to say for myself, right? But for the younger generation, wanting to know about who he is, his music, his discography, all that stuff, that's what's going to be the problem. Because once it is you're in the music industry, you have to connect to people, relate to them in some form of way to where or you got to be rapping your ass off in a way to where it is like, nah, this motherfucker putting out bars, like, you know, stuff like that. It has to be that. So once it is in the niche that we know him as when I was younger, and now it is that we've getting older, now like our level of taste of music has changed. Now you got to figure out how, when you get older, how do you be together within like the audience? So who is your targeted audience at the end of the day? That is where it is finding the niche. It's the same thing for streamers too. We have to do the same thing. You know, you can't be sitting there doing the same thing all the time. It's not going to always work that way. You know, that's how you grow. That's what I'm worried about moving forward with Lil Wayne's legacy. He's always going to have his legacy. It's always going to be there. You cannot discredit any of these albums that he put out there. But unfortunately it is like this is what's going to make people kind of be like, I'm a little bit good on him, you know?
And of course, like I mentioned, he was putting out The Carter albums too, which people loved, and they did insane numbers. I've mentioned this before on this channel, but Wayne was putting out so many songs that 50 Cent called him a whore. He was also doing a ton of features around this time, one of my personal favorites being the track Duffel Bag Boy by Playa Circle, who, if you didn't know, was a duo that 2 Chainz was in. Very good song, you guys should check that out. Might be my favorite of all time by Wayne. I don't know, it could be, it's up there. I'm not going to go over all the accolades and all the songs, but just know that Wayne has dominated the rap game for decades.
Yes.
And not only that, but his influence on hip-hop is immense. From popularizing the Lil name and a more creative, fun style of rapping and different sorts of flows, many artists nowadays are openly inspired and influenced by him.
Like, it's, look at me, bro. Just look at me and what you see. I learned Lil Wayne. I wanted to be Lil Wayne. I would talk when I was younger. Girls would say I look like Lil Wayne, so I would run with that. And I would wear the fedoras, and I would wear the tight polo tees with the skinnies, and wear the Vans and shit.
I think when I first started out, I just wanted to be just as important as Lil Wayne, because I felt like nobody was ever going to be as big as Lil Wayne, like during like Lollipop times and obviously like Carter 3 times. And
never got a chance to tell you, but yo, Mona Lisa,
yeah,
your 2 verses on that shit gotta be like, it's gotta be like one of the like top 5 verses of all time.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you, man.
And don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of people that think Wayne is in the right
Listen
and
to
that he should
this
have performed
dignified suburban man on
the Super Bowl, but I just think that this sequence of events in the past couple of years has not really been the best look for him. So it is possible that 2025 is just another bump in the road for Wayne, and he'll come back with more heat. But it's also possible that as he gets older, he's losing his touch. I think the Carter 5 was the last album that he really had people hyped for. And rightfully so, I really enjoyed a few tracks off that album. And it was also on that album, on the track Dedicate, where he flexed the fact that he really did start a lot of trends in music nowadays. But that was back in 2018. And it's been so long since Wayne really put out anything that crazy except for maybe a good guest verse or something. So it's possible that all the controversy this year was what will do his legacy in.
Regardless of what people want to say about how bloated they feel Future's discog might be, at the end of the day, he's gonna come through with a hit or something. Or at least it's been, you know what I'm saying, to that point. You know what I'm saying? It might not be every album, it might not be every day, but he's gonna be a part of a moment. But Wayne, bro. And I think a big portion of this that a lot of people overlook is the time period that we were last excited for Lil Wayne. When was the last time y'all was excited for Lil Wayne music? I already have my answer. I was gonna say Carter 5.
But like Dante said in the clip I played earlier, maybe it's best that Lil Wayne focuses less on what others are saying and either continues putting out great music like he's totally capable of, or just chills and focuses on other things that are important to him, rather than being consumed by the music industry and its followers. If you like this video, you might like my video about Kendrick Lamar's album GNX and what was going on back at that time. It also includes everything I talked about with the Lil Wayne situation and more, and Kendrick with the industry. Also, remember, videos are on Spotify if you guys want to check them out on there. But other than that, it's been your boy Matty Balls. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like or even consider subscribing down below. And yeah, I will see you guys.
You know, like the light flick would get, I swear, as soon as you hear that lighter just flicker, it just like, oh my God, oh, he's about to give the most craziest 16. He probably didn't even write that down. That was just off the dome piece. It hurts my soul, man. It hurts. It hurts my soul so bad. But nonetheless, I still think Lil Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time. I still do. But is his time starting to dwindle a little bit? That titling dwindling a little bit? I believe so at this point. I hate to say it, but I gotta call it for what it is. But Matty Balls, shout outs to you. Thank you so much for the video. I appreciate that. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Shout outs to you at home, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.